right, y'all, this is our take. This is Mark the moderator.
Banks.com, the game is the game, always.
If the process, Parliament AP, shout to my man Sky Zoo.
All right, y'all. So, shout out to Sky Zoo, man. Yo, get better, homie. So, let me say it right now. Let me ask you a question. So, we've watched something going on right now, and we're going to get away from sports for a moment. And what we're going to talk about is the civil divide that's going on right now. We're watching people that are now talking about Blue Lives Matter. They are starting to deface the Black Lives murals. They are pushing to keep these Confederate monuments up, the statues up. What's your take on where things are going right now, coming off of where we were last month and where things are right now? What's your take?
You want to go, Avery?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think part of course, losing a little bit of steam, couple of distractions being thrown at y'all. They vote to that. Jada and Will throwing distractions. Kanye is starting to throw some distractions now. 45 is continuously throwing some distractions. Yo, I look at it like this, man. Like, look, Blue lives do matter. It's not right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about one thing. We talk about Black lives. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, you know, this has always been the norm. You know, this always happens, especially with when Black issues arise. It's always this idea of, well, what about X? What about Y? Yeah, okay, we hear you, but what about this? We ain't talking about it. We're not talking about what you want the issue to be. And again, that's a distraction. That's a way to change the narrative. That's a way to get us off course and start talking about something else. I wish we stopped that. You know, this whole, even them posting a video of homegirl putting the paint on the Black Lives Matter sign on the ground. Distraction, man. And there's a problem with social media. You know what I'm saying? Even people that I saw that disagree with it still went out their way, took their energy to post that. So you're giving it energy. We constantly give the wrong things energy. And when we stop giving that energy, and we start giving what we need to get energy, like we did last month, because after George Floyd died, that energy was there. And I told y'all this was going to happen. All it's going to take is for a couple of distractions. You know, let me, you know, do the bunny in the hat. Let me pull the bunny out the hat. It's over here. What's in his hand? That's what's happening right now. We just see a whole bunch of distractions.
Thanks.
Yo, I'm sorry, I got to disagree wholeheartedly. Blue lives are not a thing. That is not a thing at all. When you go home, you can take off your uniform. I'm this, Mark's that, you're that. We are Black 24 hours a day. Ain't no such thing as Blue Lives Matter. And I'm not giving you no credit for a job that you signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, nobody should be murdered or anything like that, but being a police officer is a difficult job. You know the risk coming in. They don't make you sign an oath for no reason. They don't teach you in defensive tactics on how to protect yourself and how to properly cuff somebody and do all this for no reason. So I'm not giving you credit for that. And in terms of distractions, there's always going to be distractions in this world. It's hard to just stay on focus on one thing. But at the same time, let's give ourselves a little credit, man. We are able to focus on more than one thing at once. Yes, there are going to be people, they're going to be the fringe people that's going to fall off to the wayside. That's more concerned about Will and Jada and all this other stuff going on. But there's people that's really focused in the movement. The protests have not stopped in, I'm sorry, I can't remember the young lady's city right now, but Breonna Taylor's city, is that St. Louis? The protests have not, is it Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Okay, wherever it's at, the protests have not stopped in that city since they started. They're still protesting every day. Don't be fooled by the media coverage not showing you these protests anymore and thinking that things have slowed down, because that's how they control the news cycle to make you think things are not happening. The people that are still focused are still focused. So where do we stand with the progress? I still think we're trying to make progress, but like I said, I told y'all guys earlier, man, they're doing a lot of the fluff, man. They're taking names off of pancake bottles. They're taking Uncle Ben off of stuff. They painting Black Lives Matter in every city in America. It's on the NBA court. It's on the NFL court. People are kneeling. Cool. That's all great and nice. But Give us what we asked for, man. Change the laws. You know what I mean? Hold cops accountable for their thing. One state has stopped qualified immunity. One state since this whole thing has started. So I don't know about progress, man. If people think these murals and all this other stuff is progress, I guess, but to me, it's not.
Let me just push back on that for a second. And the reason why I said what I said is because the reality is that there's somebody maybe here, there's somebody somewhere, obviously, has a cop as a family, right? Even though we know that that's not the subject now, right? What I'm trying to say is that nobody never said, first of all, they're taking it out of Black Lives Matter, making it Blue Lives Matter. We understand that. We're not clueless to that. We know that they're trying to stretch things. But what I'm trying to say is that, yes, it matters, but it's not what we're talking about now. And that's why I say about the distraction, about the shift. And that's what I say about the media. I agree with you on that point, where they try to move the goalposts because what they control. But let me just say this about progress. Progress is not always seen as this encompassing thing. I think we need to just really be careful about that. You know what I'm saying? Whether they take the Indian off of the Land O'Lakes bottle, you know what I'm saying? Whether they change Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, whatever the case is, I think that what we have to understand is that everything doesn't happen in one big, everything's not handled in a vacuum. And yes, I get it. We could call it fluff. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that it's not something that, is small. But you got to realize, how long was Aunt Jemima on that bottle? How long was Uncle Ben on that box of rice? You know what I'm saying? Again, I told y'all last week, 150 years back in 2015, right, was the Civil War. That was the anniversary. We're not that far removed. Everything happens in increments, ebbs and flows. That's how it's just going to be. So, we had that whole chat. Mark, you remember this week, everybody's like, oh, I don't care. We had this whole conversation. We talk about voting and all of that. Yo, we can't change anything until we change something. And whether it's big, large, or small, some things have to change. But I agree with you on, there has to be some bigger pushes, law, legislator, of course. But we got to get in those roles. And the same laws that you talk about you want to change, you got to vote for, Brother Banks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to remember, we got to focus on that. So that's the reason why, I always bring up voting. And guess what? I understand that we don't have the same result. And yes, can it be fixed and all that? But until we start saying, we're going to be a part of that systematic change and stop shunning the system itself and then say, the laws ain't changed. Well, we didn't do anything to change the law because the laws are voted on. So I'm just saying, let's be very careful how we plant those words. That's all I'm saying. But I agree with you in context.
Let me add, because here's the part that bugs me out. And Banks, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I got to disagree with this. We got this whole thing about the sky is supposed to open up and this huge event is supposed to take place. Progress is gradual over time. If Aunt Jemima's off of the syrup, that's progress. If Uncle Ben doesn't look like that no more, that's progress. Everything comes in steps, man. We have to take the wins when the wins come. Now, some might say, well, that's nothing. Well, listen, we had nothing previously. Let's start talking about the actual progress that we're starting to see. We are on the steps of taking progress. But if we keep shooting the progress down, we'll never recognize that we have gotten somewhere. And that's something which we keep doing. That's why I always go back to the same thing. We had a black president that nobody really appreciated because the mindset was he was supposed to save Black America instead of seeing the things he did for Black America and giving credit for that. We don't do that. So that's why I said we get lost in this. I'm seeing a lot of progress going on. Now we're not at the finish line, but we're heading towards somewhere rather than where we was just four years ago. To hear and see some of the things that we are seeing, Black Lives Matter being written in the streets anywhere is major, kid. That's a major turn. That's a major turn. When you sit back and think about 3 years ago, Banks, you would have never thought something like that would have happened.
I agree. I mean, I'm sure. Here's what I'm saying, and I'm not disagreeing. All fantastic points both of y'all have made. What I will say is this, right? I'm sure getting Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in certain cities was major in the 60s. Like, wow, this is amazing. They named streets after a black man. 70. They named streets after the black man. What really changed? So my analogy to you is this: like, you know, I say, hey, Mark, man, can I get my all take shirt or whatever? You like, yeah, fam, I got you. I sent you an all take pen. Oh yeah, the pen is cool, Mark. Yeah, but I really need that shirt though, bro.
But is the shirt coming though? But see, wait, but is the shirt coming though? You see, take the pen.
You can't guarantee. You can't guarantee that change is coming.
But wait, but follow me. You have the pen, and now you're looking for the shirt to actually.
Right, but I ain't even asked you for the pen.
But wait,
I ain't even asked you for the pen.
Right, exactly.
Next is like, yo, I sent you an all take notebook, bro. It's amazing. You're gonna love it. Yo, the notebook is dope, Mark. I really love the notebook. The pen is dope too. But fam, I'm kind of going to this event, and I really need the shirt. If you could, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got you, fam. I'm make it happen.
But wait, but Banks. But now here's the question: do you appreciate when the shirt comes? When you get the shirt, do you actually
if the shirt ever comes though?
No, hold on,
you can't tell me this change is coming.
That's the question I asked you. That's not the question. I said when the shirt comes.
Yeah, I would, but I didn't ask you. But I didn't ask you any of this other stuff.
Hold up. Now, what I'm going to show you something.
It's cool. It's a bonus. It's nice.
Banks. Let me say this to you. For my lifetime, we was always talking about the day that we would get a black president. Oh, yo, we never thought that was going to happen. Oh, it's always a chance. Yeah. It was always a possibility. Then
Clinton was supposed to be the black president.
No, come on.
Never thought. No. I'm just trying to say that was the narrative.
No, never thought we would get ignorance. But listen, that's ignorance. I'm not talking about ignorance. What I'm talking about is this: you get the black president that we've been waiting on for decades. You get him for 8 years, and then in turn, you don't even appreciate that right. You had the actual black president for 8 years. That's what I'm talking about. Because
I ask you a question?
It always goes.
Are you talking about the small? Are you talking about the party that has a louder voice than? Because I feel like a lot of black people appreciated Barack Obama.
I don't.
I do.
Because we hear it all the time. We hear it all the time.
Yeah, but you're hearing it from a small minority that's making a lot of noise.
It's this here, Banks. Mm-hmm. It's the fact is that we hear it. Period. Is the problem that narrative can be spread by people that look like us, and that's why in a totality, it's like we never appreciated what we was waiting for. So just like the shirt you were talking about, that's why the first thing that I ask is when you do get the shirt, are you going to appreciate it? Because to get the shirt and then not appreciate it, what's the sense?
Right. I got it.
I just think, like I said, everything is increment. I was reading an article about that COVID.
Go ahead, say it again.
You cutting out a little bit, bro.
For that COVID. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Claudette Colvin. I was reading an article about her. She's Rosa Parks before Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? Like, she never got the notoriety, right? I remember my dad saying, you know what, we had to get to the front of the bus before we could even drive the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents are from that era. So the things that my parents have seen, for us to say, well, hey, we ain't getting a lot, but for somebody like my dad who grew up, part of his childhood was spent in the South of Elizabeth, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Like literally miles away from the plantation his ancestors were raised at. You know what I'm saying? To see a black president, yeah, people are gonna say, well, he didn't do X, Y, Z. But that's not really the place in history we gotta look at either. We gotta look at the fact that we even got here. Damn, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. We gotta be careful about what we're actually, what we're getting. I think what we're asking for, like you said, Banks, is correct. Absolutely. We're asking for equality. But I don't think that we're going to get there kind of like Mark said in one big swoop. That's it.
Right. And my major point is this. Hey, you gotta mute. Yo, my major point is that we keep getting lost and we want. And then once we actually get, it's not really appreciated. Just like right now, let me say it to you right now. What I look at, and this is me, to have Black Lives Matter to be even a conversation on a global basis, when you're talking about the over 18 countries protested after George Floyd. We never seen something like that. All 50 states, all 50 states protested after George Floyd. And then just 2 weeks ago, we seen that we are out here killing one another at an alarming rate. To me, that's when I talk about it makes no sense to me the way we do.
I hate the narrative of black on black crime. It is It's crime. Okay. That's what it is. Listen, murder is intraracial, man. You never heard anybody talk about.
Come on, man.
People, what is the come on for? I mean, white people kill people, their people the same rate as black people. Black on black crime is a term that's is created to make you feel guilty about something that is a human condition. People kill people that are close to them.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to step outside of the box, let's step outside of the box. If the three of us right here, if we look at one another, that we can agree to disagree without killing one another. You follow what I'm saying to you? Yo, we don't have, listen, crime is always going to be crime. I totally get it. But when you're talking about a title that Black Lives Matter, but you're going around now at this alarming rate, killing babies, killing women, killing just lawlessly killing one another like it doesn't matter, is just crazy to me, because me is this. If I'm going to value your life, that means that I want somebody else to value your life as well. Life has to matter, because black on black crime always will exist, but it shouldn't. Yes, it does, but it shouldn't, man, because
not black on black crime. It's crime. It's crime. Okay. Like this. That's the point overall that I'm trying to make. You keep hearing these statistics about what's happening during this thing. What about the statistics with white people? And I'm not saying, listen, we're not white or anything like that, but stop making it like we're doing something out of the ordinary. This is what happens. Human beings kill people in proximity. And let me I'll make my last point. I'm gonna let you finish, Avery. What I'm saying is this: it will be the same thing as French people saying about Americans, well, y'all are killing each other. Y'all can't really worry about anything else until y'all face y'all domestic terrorism problem. You're able to compartmentalize. Yes, we care about people killing each other in our communities. We don't want that to happen. There are people working on that. There is no media coverage on the people that are actually boots on the ground working on that. But you understand what I'm saying? If a French person were to say, you can't worry about nothing else. You can't worry about what's Al Qaeda and all these people trying to kill you until y'all fix y'all domestic terrorism problem. That doesn't make any sense.
No, Banks, because listen, before any of this, I've always said this. We are quick to kill one another before we think about killing somebody else. We don't value one another's lives because of how we look at one another. If we want to have a real conversation, let's have the real conversation. When you lack respect for someone that looks like you, then killing you means nothing. I'm always going to say, we got to do better among one another. That will change the circumstance. I will never say another black person isn't going to kill another black person. What I'm saying to you, it shouldn't be the first narrative that we are quick to do because we don't value one another. That's all that I'm saying to you. I'm never saying white on white crime doesn't matter. What I'm talking about is us, man. As a people, we got to do better as a people. Coming this far and also this long in this struggle, we are the crabs in the barrel. And we keep playing into it as if, you know what? This is how it's going to be. No, it doesn't have to be. We got to think outside of the box and really start looking at, is there ways that we can stop the murder rate of us killing one another, whereas we raise the value of ourselves to one another? That's my only point.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say this. Let's be what you really want to be doing about statistics. Like we have this rate. Black man is more likely to die at the hands of, right? That as far as the rate per capita, that's what we call it, per capita. Now, obviously, people say, "Oh, white people die more at the hands of cops." Yes, because it's more white people, right? Let me just make sure I'm clear about it. But if you were to look at it and compare, black people die at a higher rate than white people die at the hands of cops. Let's also be realistic about the fact: black violence, gun violence, black victims of homicides are more likely to be killed by another black person per capita than white people are more likely to be killed. So I think that's where the black and black narrative comes from. And I don't even think, I know that's where the narrative comes from. But here's where the issue comes from an educational standpoint. Do you run with the cops kill more black narrative and say, look, the fact is here? Or do we walk away from, yo, black men die at the hands of other black men? That's a fact. Like, so we can't have it both ways. We gotta be careful with how we, and I agree with Banks on we talk about black and black crime. Yes, white people kill white people too. We have a proximity thing. We have all of those issues coming into play. But us as people, what I will say is there are definitely people that are on the ground that are definitely protesting, quote unquote, black on black violence in Detroit. There's mad people on the ground. And people that I know personally.
There's people here that are totally against it.
Right.
For sure, we want to see it end. We don't want to.
But I think, Mark, I think what your thing is also is what is mind-boggling. And I think for me too is this cognitive dissonance of saying, yo, we're in the middle of a Black Lives Matter movement, and the rate of black people actually going out there and we kill each other still, even with all of this going on, is crazy. That's hurtful.
That's where I'm at.
But like I always said, everybody's not with the movement. Everybody ain't thinking like that. We still have oppression and people in poverty situations that have a different perspective.
But you also have acceptance of circumstances. And a lot of us feel that this is our circumstance, so we have to accept it. And my thing is step outside the box and do not accept it because it's not right, man. Yo, we got to turn around and start realizing, yo, here's the bug part. We're going to talk about support black business. Am I right or wrong? Right?
Okay.
Now, there's white business out there. There's a whole slew of other business out there. But we're saying support black business. But yet, we're going to go out and then burn down black businesses. That just defeats the purpose of what we're talking about doing. I'm like, yo, listen, we are talking about Black Lives Matter. At this point, it should be a stop on killing one another during this period and time right now. This is a time that we are seeing that the country is woke to looking and listening to black lives. And we out here doing this madness, man. It's crazy. That's why it's crazy.
You know what, Mark? I'll say this. You know what I'm saying? I understand why there is that is always going to exist. That crime is always going to exist. But I understand why you're balanced that way. You're trying to keep the balance with the conversation. I get it. You can't say the Black Lives Matter here, and then there's this idea of, yo, why the heck do we still kill each other? I mean, the fact of the matter is, like I said again, there's some plenty intelligent, positive people on the ground working to stop gun violence, stop the influx of guns in black and urban neighborhoods. There's all of that still existing. And what's more interesting is if we talk about New York City, we talk about the Bronx, we talk about Brooklyn. These gentrified areas where I think Mark's cognitive dissonance comes in a little bit more is we in a gentrified area where there's whites of affluent whites and then there's blacks. And blacks are still kind of blacks. What's happening? Like, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I totally understand where.
Listen, there's a paradigm there that I can really delve into. That's really deep, man. Because again, it's the psyche of us. Because once again, the reason why cops kill us at the rate they kill us because they don't value us. The reason why we kill someone that look like us at the rate we do because we don't value us. And until the value raises, will we then start to realize that, hold on, wait a minute, this life has value. That's why when you see what you see, and that's why the numbers of officers killing white quote unquote suspects is so different because they value who that white person is. They have a value in there's an inherent understanding that that white person might know somebody, might be related to someone of importance, and I'm not going to be quick to take his life or her life.
And they're also white as well. I mean, that's part of it.
Right. Yes, of course. But that's why I say the value system is different because they look like them, but we don't do the same thing when it comes there to us. That's the other part of it.
That's deep, man. That's deep, though. That's you talking about going back to slave times and all that stuff. But there's been a big shakedown that they found out that there's a large number of cops that are involved in racist online Facebook groups,
KKK,
and all kinds of things.
And all that.
Yeah, they in all that.
Well, once again, but y'all, we have went long, but listen, y'all, thank you for tuning in. This is Our Take. Get your merch. Check us out right online, www.ourtakesportshow.com.
You get it? That's me. You get it? That's me going long right there. Hold on.
This is our take. This is our take. This is our take. This is our take.